I know I have hypervigilance. I know I do have a very well-developed masculine, but I don't know that I've spent time really looking at or discerning what is a healthy expression of masculine and what is hypervigilance.
Yeah.
That feels like an important one.
For me, it's the come from.
What does that mean?
So hypervigilance for me comes from one, like thinking I need to do something or thinking there's a problem I need to fix, or having anxiety that I just don't know how to manage, and so I'm just going to do, or like needing to live up to something or old pressure or whatever. Masculine energy to me feels like a response. So I know I'm in my healthy masculine when my feminine has given a directive, like I've felt something, and then my masculine handles the execution of it, which is way different than when I'm in hypervigilance. It's like, it feels more jittery and more spastic. I don't look spastic. I look extremely effective. But inside of myself, there's a kind of energy to it.
Ooh, okay, I want to double click on this because I mean, selfishly, I just want to be coached right now. Do you feel available? So,
of course.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So this, I'm trying to think of, okay, this is getting a little vulnerable talking about money, but like, for example, like on our call the other day, I was asking about people's profit margins and people were sharing like, oh, mine's this number. And I discovered that my profit margins are like much lower than the rest of the people in our group. And I immediately I felt like a failure. I felt disappointed. I felt embarrassed. And then I could feel that hypervigilance kick in where I was like, oh, I have to fix something.
Right.
There's something to fix here.
Right.
And then I'm looking at like ad spend and blah, 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 you know, like going down the P&L from this place of fear and lack and scarcity. But I definitely have a story of like, well, this is just good business. Like this is just, if you're going to be a responsible CEO, like you have to do this. So I can fully justify it. But if I'm being honest, it comes from like, well, I want to have the highest profit margins and like I want to be good. I want to be successful. And so I would just love any feedback or anything you see there.
Yeah, no, I thank you for the vulnerability. So when that happened and you saw everybody's profit margins and yours were lower, what did you make that mean about yourself?
I made it mean that I'm not good at business, that I'm not trusting my intuition, that I'm allowing myself to be pulled by other people's desires, other people's dreams, or maybe like too, like I'll just say like bullied by like even employees or like, you know, just like, oh, or here's a fun one. I made it mean that I'm like running a nonprofit for Mark Zuckerberg. Just like taking all of the money and just giving it right over to ad spend. That's like on the surface, but like deeper.
So like the core belief that would be underneath all of that. I'm not
like,
what?
I'm not, I guess it's like, I'm not good enough.
Yeah. And what feeling comes up when you say that?
Like unworthiness or embarrassment.
Shame?
Yeah, I guess embarrassment and shame are very similar. Yeah.
And does that remind you of anything?
Does the shame remind me of anything?
That feeling. You don't even have to name it, just that feeling. I'm not feeling good enough and the yuckiness that comes with it.
I can like feel into a flavor of reaching.
Okay, then don't reach.
No, I'm saying like a reaching that I do in my life. Like that like when I feel that embarrassment or not enoughness, like I'll reach like back when I was acting. Or even sometimes in friend groups.
Yeah. So a long time ago, part of you decided when I feel this icky feeling, I need to do something about it. I can't just be with the feeling. So that was either a coping strategy or that was modeled for you, or a long time ago, because this has been in your operating system for a while, when that feeling of embarrassment or panic or I'm not enough or whatever, that real kind of vulnerability feeling of, oh shit, like I may not be good enough and I need to fix it, like right away. This is not like urgent, 4-alarm fire type of thing. That's been there a while. So what I'm curious about is if you think back to when all of your operating system was forming, which is childhood, do you have any sense of when that developed and why?
Yeah, I mean, what's so fascinating is that specifically on the good enough and the worthiness piece, like I felt very confident, very good enough, very worthy, like in myself on stage, like I loved acting, I loved dancing, I loved my friends. I was always like, good grades, the dance captain, blah, blah, blah. And I liked those things.
But where did you learn resilience and failure? If you were good at everything, where did you learn how to fail?
Oh, yeah, I didn't really. But I would not say I'm expert at failing.
Right. You're used to being really good at things, Emily.
Yeah.
Like really good.
Yeah, I love it.
Who doesn't? Right?
Yeah, I definitely have that fixed mindset.
Yeah.
I'm like, growth mindset.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah.
But have you tried being an expert at things?
I know. I get it. But like, really, you were so good at everything, especially as a young kid. You really never really had to fail. Never had to not be the best at something. So when, like, especially in a group situation where that comes up, where like you're not the best or you're not good in some level, it's like, wait, this is not how things are. This is wrong.
It like challenges my deep identity.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. Because you don't fail. And that's part of who you are.
And just a name that like maybe obvious is that, my dad was alcoholic, manic depressive, bipolar. And so I'm sure there's some obvious thing that I can't see right now, but like there was a lot of parenting. Like I was good at things because there was no room for me to be.
Well, you couldn't be a kid.
Right.
Because when you have a parent that's that unpredictable and that unstable, you have to parentify yourself. And you have to be good at things, because if you don't, then he's going to get mad. It could trigger something. Like there's
it doesn't
a whole
feel safe.
thing. It doesn't feel safe. And kids that don't have adequate parenting will overcompensate and become like extra good at things because you're making up for a lot, But you didn't really, and okay, we're talking about dad, so there's the masculine, right? So you didn't have like a healthy masculine modeled for you that would just hold you when you failed or hold you when you weren't being the best and like show you also what healthy masculine looks like in the world, So what I see is an opportunity for when something comes up where you're not the best or you're not living up to standards or whatever, kind of going, oh, wow, this is an opportunity for me not to be good at something. I'm actually not the best right now. Okay, how do I want to be with that? Like, can I just be with that? Can I be in the suffering of that? Because one of the things I'm learning in all the parenting podcasts I'm listening to is about not rescuing our kids and letting them suffer and teaching them resilience. And so instead of just kind of being with whatever comes up for you around a situation like that, you want to go into like, I need to fix it and hypervigilance. I'm not saying don't take action. I am saying consider where the action is being taken from and actually sit with, wow, how does it feel not to be the best? How does it feel to be the one in the group whose numbers weren't the highest? Like, let me just be with that.